one event is down in level 2, and we are now going to get our second level 2 cup. However, I think before we do that, I should probably put on a few more upgrades just to improve this thing a little bit. Huh, we can actually fit nitrous. And I think what I'll do for this is... yeah, come on. I gotta put on the turbo, right? I'm just gonna put it on. Those are already done, and exhaust. Fuck it, I'll put on the racing exhaust. I figure that should be enough to at least clarify the performance checks. I probably will put the other upgrades I need to fit on in due course, but I think for now we should be okay with what we have. So, 3 events down, and we still have another 5 to go. Time now for the Spring Smash Derby Cup, where we begin at Midwest Ranch 2. Lakeside route that passes through a wooden bridge under repairs, a large farmyard and barns. Ooh boy. Hopefully this will go better than what I anticipate it to. Right, here we go. And I have also increased the revs from the banger. And there is contact already, and I go straight into the lake. I'm probably not the only one who's going to wind up in the lake, and I get a power hit. And I get slammed from behind. And I am getting caught in... okay, fuck this. Okay, crash me once, shame on you. Crash me twice, no dice. As that pretty much proves. But anyway, we'll try and see if we can survive. Which at the moment we are failing to do miserably. Jason, would you mind getting off my ass? Thank you. I still forgot how this thing does not like to jump. Hey, I got a double slam. Not bad. And apparently I set a new lap record, even though I crossed the finish line 4th. Whatever, there's still 2 laps to go, so I'm all for whatever happens. As I wreck KT into one of the barns. See what happens. Okay. Alright. So the top two are just ahead of me. I think it's Sophia and Jack, is it? Yeah, it is. Okay. I'm not gonna take the barnyard route again, because I don't think that'll work for my car. Alright, final lap, and I set another new lap record, this time a 109.5, and there was nothing I could do about the oversteer. There was nothing that could be done to prevent me from going straight into that tree. I was basically going to die either way. There was no way to stop it. Even if I wanted to. Oh god. Okay. I lived, bitch. I am not dead yet. And he's taken the barnyard route, which means he's probably going to lose time. And he loses just enough time for me to snag the win. And as expected, I get slammed from behind. And it was Jason who I beat to the line. Fucking hell. I have no idea who that was, but he literally just came at me like a heat-seeking missile with the speed he was doing. Anyway. Victory over Jason, Ray, and Katie. And the bottom four were Sophia, Martinez, Sally, Frank, and Jack. Crazy is what that race was. Absolutely fucking crazy. And yet I somehow pulled it off. In spite of all the damage I sustained at the end. Excuse me. So we got 4 slams in that race, and I also got the Bulldozer award. Race at the fastest lap, Sally got the Blastmaster, and Frank was the best wrecker. Okay. 1 race down, 4 to go. As our next one takes place at Water Canal 3. Shortest canal route featuring open-air basketball fields and multiple canal crossings. And we are doing 4 laps once again. I just hope we can win. We won race 1, now we have to try and see if we can win another one. I think if I can get at least 2 wins before this is all done, then I should be in a good enough position to at least fight for this one. Fighting something that I know I can win. Because we are racing on asphalt. And that works out well for me because, well, my car is designed for asphalt. It's where the rear-wheel drive cars are strongest. Or more or less the strongest, if that makes any sense. Anyway, we'll see how we do for the rest of this. I think we were actually on a railroad track for a brief moment there. We probably weren't, but I figure it's worth a guess. I was not paying attention. But either way, it's fine because I do have a win on the board, plus Jason is behind me, so my main rival up to this point is still behind me, and that's a good thing, because it means I can just focus on, well, being consistent. Plus it is 4 laps after all, so I think we should be okay. And I set a new lap record. Anyway, right behind Sophia. I almost make the same mistake I did before, although thankfully this time it was nowhere near as severe. And I think we're doing pretty well at the moment. I figure there's enough grip on the track surface to help me recover, or the road surface I should say, to help me recover, and that's probably what I think makes this circuit more forgiving. And Sophia has wrecked, so has Katie. They both have their own separate accidents, and I set a 48.47. I think that probably is the fastest lap of this race so far. And Jack is right behind me. So things are about to get interesting, as he now passes me for the lead. However, this is not over yet, as I get caught up in the trash. Anyway, we're still running good for now. I managed to avoid getting clipped by Jack, and it looks like the finishing order is more or less set in stone now, after the chaos that happened right there at the end. So, 2 wins on the trot for the banger, and the fastest lap of that race was set by Frank, with a 56.97. However, I managed to win in the end by 4.39 seconds over Frank, then Katie was 3rd, followed by Jack in 4th, Ray 5th, Sophia 6th, Sally in 7th, and it was Jason who finished 8th. And last. I think I might know precisely where my next replay is going to be recorded. I think it's going to be at race 4, wherever that is. Anyway, there we go. 2 races down, I get another 500 credits, 3 slams and 1 power hit. I don't get any top driver rewards, unfortunately. And Frank also got the reward for the bulldozer as well. Not bad. Anyway, these are your standings now after race 2, as I have a 9-point lead over Katie. And we also have a tie for third between Ray and Frank. And we will continue this in a few minutes. 2 wins in the first 2 races, and already we have got some parity. As Frank finished P2 in the first race, and then it was KT who finished P2 in the second race. And up to this point, I doubt the mix-ups of these results are finished yet, as we now head over to Timberlands 3, taking a detour through lush pine tree valleys. The route runs through a major logging area. Let's go and get it done. I have a 9-point lead heading into round 3, so I would say we're very much, at this time at least, providing we can keep finishing inside the top 4, I'd say we should be on our way to securing yet more decent results. Don't want to hit that ramp, as we are also out on the highway for a brief span of time. And hitting a few things, and I don't think going around the outside really helped. And I immediately wreck after going straight into the logs. Unfortunate, but still we continue to roam onwards. Still, it is actually pretty neat to know that we do get rewarded for crashing, basically. Or for basically having the best crashes, if you will. That's more or less what the idea is. And the game does not want to reset me. Great. Now I rejoin in P6. Well, I can afford a mistake or two. I mean, I was friggin' 9 points ahead heading into this round anyway, plus my main rival KT is not really doing very well at the moment. Yeah, she's currently P7. And I think it's fair to say that I have a clear advantage by taking that inside lane. So, at the end of lap 2, I lead ahead of Jack, and is there a possibility this could be 5 in a row? We shall see. As I go straight into the guardrail. There was nothing I could do about my car being caught up in the ditch there. There was nothing I could do to stop it. And I hit the logs again. But I was able to reset quickly enough to get my car back up to speed. God damn it. There was nothing I could do about that pipe frame. Well, I was going well until I hit the pipes. And then that was basically when my run went tits up. And first time I don't finish on the podium. But either way, doesn't matter because I won 2 of the first 3 races. I kind of knew this was going to be where my win streak would end once I hit the pipes. But either way, I still managed to come away with a decent result. I may not be the fastest, but I certainly prove to be the scoriest. And we didn't get any race rewards. However, I do get the bulldozer reward. So, nice to come away with something, even though Jason set the best lap time. But whatever. I now have an 8-point lead at the top over Sophia, and Jason is now up to 3rd. Those are the results. Sally is still at the back with 9 points, but I have no doubt in saying she'll probably improve on those. Anyways, let's head to race 4. Midwest Ranch 3. Race through a large ranch, featuring tight turns around barns and fields. So we're 3 tracks in. I have 2 wins and a 4th up to this point. I don't think winning individual races count towards overall progress. You just have to finish the event and then you basically get to move on to the next one. Virtually. Although my car has been loose, I can at least say it has been a decent car. And I am out in the crop fields. And I had to reset, otherwise I would have spun. Which is what I wouldn't have wanted. But anyway, I managed to barge my way up to the lead, and I hit the Armco. Probably wasn't the wisest idea to make contact entering the barn. And now we're both out of it. And chaos is ensuing. And I hit a pigsty. Well, good thing I had an 8-point lead heading into this round. Or else I would have been in the worst position possible. I think basically, if my car is not going to stay straight, then that's pretty much going to be my ulterior motive. I think that's a chicken coup. Anyway, I think every time my car gets loose from now on, that's basically going to be where I ultimately decide to just reset the car. Because if I don't, then basically I'll crash, which is what I don't want. Anyway. And there was nothing I could do about that. My car is simply just prone to jump. My car is simply sensitive to jumps. And I could definitely say with the ragdoll physics, there was nothing I could do about that. But I do manage to get behind Sophia again, so would be quite something if I could make this. Oh, never mind. Well, at least I got 2 slams. Even though I still end up behind her anyway after resetting. But whatever. everything's good. My consistency continues. And I finish P4 once again. Although, it could have been a lot worse had I not reset. You know what? I think I'm gonna leave the race replay for the final race. I did at least manage to get some extra money. I may have finished 4th twice in a row, but I at least managed to limit the damage by finishing behind Sophia, who I think up to this point of the game has pretty much been my main rival. So we got 2 super flips and 3 slams. And no top driver rewards, unsurprisingly. But I do still have a 7-point lead. So basically, I need to just finish inside the top 4, and then I will no doubt have this cinched. 2 fourths in the last 2 races, but that's fine, because we have a 3-way tie for 2nd, and a 2-way tie for 5th. No doubt in saying both of those battles will get resolved soon enough. Anyway. Final race of the Spring Smash Derby Cup. Office buildings, glass towers, an underground car park and a gas station are all here to crash through. I think if I didn't hit the reset button as many times as I did, my result would have been a lot worse than it was at Timberland's. I didn't quite get the podium, but because my car is just very prone to oversteer. Considering I'm actually finishing with top 4 results, I think finishing in the top half is still enough for me to be consistent. Because that is where, in most areas, I best the AI. I simply best them, not by dominating, but by consistently scoring points. Once you eventually do get as many years of experience in racing games as what I have, you eventually discover that you do have to think about big picture racing if you have results on the board. And that to me is pretty much what my goal is. As in, I pretty much have a goal of making sure that the results I get, as in I pretty much have a goal to make sure the results I get are consistently in the top half of the field. I may not have the best car or the fastest car, but what I do have is at the very least a consistent car. And that's pretty much the one area where I seem to hit it better than the AI. As in, I consistently finish with good results, and that is what helps me to win championships. Would be nice if I could actually get 3 wins here. But again, we have not reached the end of the race yet, and Sophia is still very much on my ass. And I lost a little time there to the roadworks. But either way, I did have a sizable enough lead heading into this race. I can actually run into cars. And that's without me losing my avatar. That's actually not too bad. And I get slammed into. I think, anyway. Meanwhile... Okay. So it looks like I probably am gonna come away with 3 wins out of 5. And I still hit the outside wall, but I am far enough ahead to pull this one off, and there we go. I get 3 of 5. And I was a second off the fastest lap time overall, set by Ray Carter. So those are the results. Winning by 1.69 nice seconds over Jack Benton. Then Sophia Martinez finishes P3, Jason Walker 4th, Frank Malkov in 5th, then Katie 6th, Sally 7th, and Ray Carter finishes P8. And I might as well get my replay because that's one thing I have not done yet, as I am now recording my replay with the banger. On the streets of whatever the name of this town is. I suddenly don't remember the name of this track. The FR runs at its best. On asphalt and tarmac. Even though in this game it would technically be asphalt. But either way, I still got the most wins. I think we had a total of 3 different winners in this championship. I would have to check the point scores to be sure, but I think that's what we had. But anyway. Okay, I think that'll do it. So, now let's go and look at the final point standings. Because I can. So, 3 out of 5 wins in the end. Not quite the sweep, but still enough for us to realistically come away with the title. And I do get at least one reward from this, and that is the Bulldozer reward. Sally got the award for Best Wrecker, Katie got the Blastmaster, and it was Ray who got the fastest lap. Okay. Yeah, I was right. We did have 3 different winners in that championship. 3 wins to me, 1 win to Sophia, and 1 win to Frank. So, 11-point margin of victory in the end over Sophia, as I scored 40. Jason then finishes 3rd with 28. 1 point clear of Frank Malkov, who finishes P4. Then we had Jack in P5, who was initially running last, but then came back strong who I think at one point was running last, but then afterwards he came back with some strong results at the end to finish 2nd in 2 of the last 3 races. Then we had Katie in P6, Sally P7, and Ray, after finishing P3 at the Spring Smash opener, he winds up losing a tiebreaker to Sally Taylor. So 40, 29, 28, 27, 23, 18, and double 15 are your final point scores for the Spring Smash Derby Cup, as I score another 1700 credits, and I also get 3 wins in the end. And we also unlock the Skyscraper Derby. Cool. As we are now 50% of the way there with the Derby class. And now, all we have left is the Canals Special Derby Cup. And then afterwards, we can move on to level 3. So, we are halfway there with the Derby class. And next up, we will be racing in some canals.